fucked up as per usual. Because it's interesting, you have to leave. I think we are live.
Oh, nice.
1 second, let me just do one thing.
Yeah, I think we
can.
we are.
Yeah, we are live. Just want to make sure everybody can see the intro.
Hello, I can see the intro, so
Yes.
it should be okay. Hello. Let's just wait a second or two for some people to come in. And we can do this. Okay, let's just start. It's, people will come and go. Most of you are watching this from a replay anyway.
Please leave a like when we have your attention in the first 10 seconds. If one
Yes.
like equals I can eat tomorrow. Thank you.
Hi guys, welcome. It's 10th of December. We are bringing you another episode of the Musical Chairs. As always, the stream is sponsored by Woo. If you want to show some love, some support, you can make a new account on Woo. When you open your first trade, you will get a discount on fees. You will get a tier 1 fees, which comes with better maker and taker fees, and you will also get some of the discounts and benefits from the Tradingriot, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. So with that being said, let's just talk about what's been going on. And I think if you switch to my screen, I still can see the opening thing.
On it.
Okay. So I suppose you can see the Tradingriot now again. Starting with BTC as always. Last stream, basically, we went up only as for like the last 2 months, basically, almost. I feel like, like when it comes to my trading, and I've been kind of thinking about a lot of these like weekly breakdowns and stuff, when market is so extremely kind of one directional, it almost feels to me like it's pretty much useless to kind of give my like big picture opinions and levels and all of that, since things are very kind of one-sided. To be fair, I still wasn't trading that much BTC. For me, this is too extreme. Because I enjoy the pain, I usually trade ETH, which has this kind of you can kind of see these two charts basically. This thing has been kind of a up only for no pullbacks type of thing. ETH has been a little bit more kind of a structural, pushing up, pulling back into the different levels, making legs up. Obviously, ETH BTC has been just taking shit, so usually it's a weaker one. But we had a decent kind of move on ETH as well this week. This was this kind of a situation where we had this kind of push to the upside, pull back, next leg up. So these are generally the type of trades that I'm looking at. And to be fair, it doesn't really matter if it's on the long or short side. But I really love to see when things kind of don't do this basically, but trade in more like a kind of structural way. I know it's stupid, and people. I posted something about how I didn't get filled on Solana. People just gave me shit on Twitter for not using market orders or whatever. But for me, at least this is more of a kind of a way that I prefer to trade. So with it being said, like I said, not much on BTC for me. Coming into next week, obviously, we can look at some like higher time frame charts. We have a ETF approval is coming fairly soon. It's in a month, basically, from now. There are some rumors as well that it might come even earlier. Obviously, any kind of level that you have
Source?
on the chart. So sorry, what?
Source? Trust me, bro.
Yeah, well, what I want to say here is that any kind of level that you might have drawn here, either if it's some sort of level of resistance here, maybe resistance there or whatever. If you're gonna get like surprising approval or denial, let's say this would happen tomorrow or whatever, the chart is very likely to do something crazy. So it doesn't even make that much sense. I think what is more important, especially when it comes to BTC, is this chart. This is what's been kind of also going on for the last few weeks, I believe, or ever since the new CEO on Binance came in, and obviously it's not loading now. So let's give this one more look. And this is in my opinion pretty good indicator on like a short-term strength and weakness. I don't know why this is not loading beyond the last few bars, but you can see there's kind of a huge buy wall sitting under the price, and basically every time we kind of even fill it, it's basically it's the size that's getting filled, and we are holding this as support. You can see basically it happened here, it happened down here when we were pushing to the upside. You can see that probably it's been, it's kind of started somewhere around 38, I believe, 38, 39, basically with like the most obvious one above 40k. This is what has been kind of supporting the price for, you can see basically for the last, what is this week. So yeah, if kind of using something like this is mobchart.com, it's completely for free. You can make an account there. You'll get basically books for all the altcoins and BTC. This is going to be a good kind of indication of this kind of strength, because obviously this buyer is, there are occasions where he's getting filled and, still kind of defending the price. So, if this kind of completely disappears, it's pretty bad. If this would get filled and market wouldn't bounce from it, it's also bad. I think this is pretty decent indicator of like a short-term strength or weakness when it comes to BTC. So far, we are kind of holding it, but one of the things you can see that kind of when you have these kind of spot books, usually you want to see that kind of continuous momentum rather than you basically want to be looking for something like this when these walls just appear and market will just straight kind of teleport from it. You can see now basically that we are way more in this kind of a sideways situation right now. So it's still there, it's still supporting the price there, where you can see, if I'm going to zoom in, for whatever reason it's not showing me exact size. It's 200 BTC walls basically, and even they get filled on some of these occasions, like I said. So so far this is looking good for bulls, because this size is there, it's getting filled, market is bouncing from there. But this is something that I'm watching at least short term, intra-week, if this would kind of dynamic would change basically. So yeah, this is for BTC. Obviously, higher time frame stuff, it's overextended, no shit really. It's been up for October 16, like, I don't know, it's 8 weeks, 8 weeks in a row. I don't know. It's probably happened sometime in 2021. Maybe even no. It doesn't look like it happened in 2022. It is definitely. I don't think it's the first time this happened on BTC. It's overextended, obviously. But at the same time, I don't know. If I would be really looking to short this, there were like situation from these kind of previous sell-offs, and you can see that generally. These markets don't in general go like up and down like this basically, especially when they are like liquid markets and you are not trading some on-chain stuff or whatever. Usually, and this is one of the examples, you will have some sort of like a distribution, prolonged sideways kind of action, where when you really start to kind of lose stuff, and it's much safer to go short into rather than just kind of trying to catch it here. It's very, at the moment, we are in this pretty tight range. I think, the kind of average true range of this is weekend, obviously. So that's why it's there as well. But I think these are pretty quickly my thoughts on BTC. Like I said, the spot wall would be one of the kind of a key things to look at. To be fair, rather than just some like TA stuff. When it comes to I think on the like open interest and everything, like people, like funding is up, but it's uptrend, so it's like a normal thing. I don't think funding is like the best indicator you should be looking at when things are.
Also, Adam, could you just maybe pull up CoinGlass for that, because I think there's big discrepancy. It's usually like OKX being like absolutely retarded, but Binance is pretty flat.
Yeah, We can take a look at funding rate. Let me take a look at the heat map. BTC is going, yeah, it's pretty fine. It's 37%. Like I said, it's going to be a little up because market is going up. People are just want to be long. So, and it's still nothing too insane. It was insane, a couple of days ago on altcoins. Looked like we might have some of the flush, but market has been really strong. We only had basically one pullback the whole week on alts. It was last Monday, when we had let me just show like on optimism, and on most of these altcoins, we had these kind of huge candles like this. Basically, this was like the only pullback we got the whole week. So yeah, I think it's market is really super extended. I think, or I personally just really wonder like how far this can go without giving any meaningful pullback, and especially I feel like coming more and more into the ETF with like the date being closer and closer. It's I don't personally feel like we're gonna go 60K from here without any kind of pullback, but whatever, it can happen. You never know.
Remember how we last week? That's why I keep making the. If some people watching don't like the titles, it's on me. But last one it was Bitcoin at 40K, and I do believe we are saying pretty much the same thing. It's kind of overextended. Here we are, exactly a week later, exactly 10%. To a tick.
Yeah,
10%
it's
higher.
true though. But like at the same time, I kind of stand with like not doing like super retarded stuff basically, because let me take a look. Like we streamed basically here somewhere. This is where we streamed last week, right? So I don't know. Yeah, sure. If I would buy here, let's assume that I'm flat and I would just be long and hold it for now. Like, where am I kind of stopping out? That's like it's one of the things that what I always ask, because obviously like when you need to know kind of where you are wrong, because obviously you are kind of basing your position sizing on that. I don't really care how much I'm gonna make on a trade, because you kind of don't know that. You never know how much you're gonna make on a trade, but you know how much you're gonna lose. At least approximately. You don't need to use like hard stops or whatever, but you need to have that kind of a level where you're gonna be like, okay, I'm most likely wrong on the trade. Like this is for me how the trade on BTC would look like on the last Sunday, basically, when we were streaming. Obviously it's still 1-to-1, so it's not the worst trade, but at the same time, I don't really trade like this. And like I said, ETH, as much as painful it was, ETH is doing these kind of a structural movements, which are much easier to trade, and also kind of a place your invalidations and stuff like that. So I just enjoy being in pain basically by longing much weaker coin the whole leg up.
I mean, both of us, right? So
Yeah.
I think interesting, maybe like to keep the conversation going a little bit, is with Bitcoin and like the invalidations or entries and stop losses. I think, or like I guess a lot of people are expecting the pullback to happen closer to the ETF, right? I've also seen a big, like a lot, like argument of, we pump so much, so we probably gonna, if it's sell the news, it's gonna happen before the ETF approval. But it just kind of feels like a cope at this point. Like,
I think one of the like I do believe that maybe like after ETF you're gonna have that like sell the news type of situation where market is just going to correct, but it's going like the volatility during that actual kind of approval or whatever is going to happen is going to be like so high, it's going to be very hard to position yourself into something like that basically. Like I can short now thinking that obviously we might, or if I'm going to just short now, or if I'm going to let's say that ETF is happening on 10th, or because we don't know the exact date, but let's say that the ETF is kind of happening here a few days from here basically. If I'm gonna short here, I can be right, but market can do basically something like this and maybe then that, which this is not something that I want to be just kind of sitting and hoping for the best when I'm so much under the water. So
Yeah, it's definitely a tricky one. I was also thinking like what I would do if I'm sidelined. One potential good, obviously, like this now sounds like a financial advice, but which is not. But like let's say we're at 44K and you do believe market is gonna go down, but you don't really know when, and you kind of want to like you either stay completely flat, meaning like $1 equals $1, great, good job, or you could go spot long BTC, but also CoinM short. While the funding is quite elevated, you could if it's like even a month long position, you can actually get like it's like 10.9% per year if it's 0.01. This way you can get like at least 1 or 2% on your stack, while kind of both ways you kind of make money. If your basically trading style is eventually it will go down, which is a bit retarded, but I don't know. It's just kind of, basically I think the current best way if you're sideline is patience game, which is interesting, right? Because market, as you said, is giving 0 pullbacks, but also with every day closer to ETF, it's kind of more likely to be over soon.
Yeah. I don't know, like Bitcoin, like crypto in general, like traditional markets have this kind of a tendency to have these more of like a slower structured moves. BTC had this fairly nice as well, throughout the year. Like we made a new high here, basically, then we pulled back. We made a kind of new high here, we pulled back basically twice to that. But if you're gonna take a look at like 2021, when we had this huge leg up, which if you kind of zoom out enough, it's looking very similar. Just like up only weeks, basically up only weeks. These types of situation very often result in this, like you get just like such a huge liquidation cascade, and I do believe that this is something that will sooner or later happen. Markets never, and I know it's crypto and whatever, but like markets never go like this forever, basically. And more they go like this, more people going to buy because they will feel FOMO and everything, and then you're gonna get this kind of a bloodbath type of situation, which we used to have when people are sharing all the liquidation data and all of that, basically. Someone asking about the yearly VWAP. I think these are moving averages now. Don't ask me why I have there, but I think yearly VWAP would be somewhere around, very, very low at this point, because it got tested here in September. So I think yearly VWAP would be similar to like this, like 200-day moving average, like 30K. It's not a relevant kind of thing to look at this point.
Yeah, those things are probably more relevant in like sidelines, right? In like consolidations. Or...
Yeah, usually they do. They are.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
With Bitcoin.
I don't know. Yeah, and when it comes to altcoins, it's not getting, to be fair, much easier. We just getting these kind of like a 2021 style rotation. I feel like we had this week, which with one of the best performers being Cardano from all the things. It's really getting a little bit of these kind of flashbacks with Solana, Avalanche being really strong. These kind of old layer ones, and kind of a timeless flat circle situation.
I don't have the time to do it, but I know one of the streams we had, like me and you, I was saying I should be buying a lot of Cardano. Because like whenever market moves, it always moves. It is interesting that Cardano, we gotta give props to the community. Because now we're both sellout grifters, right? We're doing businesses, so we kind of have to care about hashtag community. It's interesting what Cardano did with theirs. So if you go on on Reddit to cryptocurrency, the infamous page, the most talked about coin is still Cardano to this day, and it's.
Yeah.
Since we talk about narratives, right? I guess it's interesting because these projects or the communities that manage to be so diehard and so strong, they will one day pump, which is not to be an advice hold it, eventually it'll go up. It's gonna go minus 90% up, but with these projects you can kind of expect a comeback. Maybe same with Ripple. These people are just mentally. Let me just say mentally. And with maybe some of the newer projects, right, they're just like kind of pump and dumps in people's minds, right? So I think a big creme de la creme of today's stream with regards to altcoins, I know you want to discuss a bit of gaming, but it's all these new coins, right? So we had Ordinals, Celestia, then I don't know how to pronounce it, the new Solana airdrop, the GTO.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically stuff doing 2-3x every single day. You need to go on like 15 minutes.
This was the airdrop of the week.
Can you find maybe a KuCoin chart or Bybit, because this is not accurate.
BitGet.
Yeah, maybe even BitGet.
Boo, nice.
Hell yeah.
Oh, this is. I think this just wicked little.
Yeah, but
too
go
hard.
maybe on like 15 minute.
Because
my point is, I was buying it at like 1.6 on Bybit, so.
Okay, but Bybit chart is not here for some
I don't
reason.
know. Is it? Yeah. I had the same situation on yesterday's solo stream, but Friday. But one of these basically, what I'm trying to say is trying to find the chart that has the most history, regardless without affiliation, because right now, same here, right? The chart starts at 2.5. While it traded at 1.5 at one point.
Yeah.
So my whole point is, this coin did 3x in like below 48 hours after listing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was first listed and then it did 3x. I know for a fact because I was buy-walling it at 1.5. I was
it's on Binance. It's a spot chart. 1.7.
Well, because Binance was actually listed a few hours after Bybit. So
okay,
that's why I keep spamming Bybit today. But
it's definitely. I think this is like a pretty common textbook with a lot of these coins that have been airdropped. Like, people just immediately sell to regret type of situation before it's eventually going to dump a little bit.
Yeah, but I guess it's kind of that maybe is also a sign of, I guess me and you come here to be a perfect counter indicators at some point, but basically we had this strength with ordinals and we had the strength with like big time. We can actually, let's look at big time, because that was the strongest thing last week, and I kind of feel like the market, it went down. Obviously it went up 10x, nobody's disputing that, but then it did minus 50%. Almost?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Seems like it did around, it's around 45%.
But it's not like the project is bad, right? The fundamentals got worse, or people seen the gameplay. It's more of the whole idea is, current market, I would personally compare it to, it's like just rotations, right? Everybody apes bonk. Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah. Also
and again, it's not like bonk is bad. The point is, just all these people follow on Twitter, who make 50 charts a day, they just keep rotating, right? So it was last week, I feel like it was bonk and big time and ordinals, right? And it kind of feels like, at least last few days, been the pronunciation Cheeto. Because obviously in our language, we would say like G, like GTA 6. But it's Entschuldigung.
It's better not to try, but it makes sense. It's been kind of rotating fairly quickly within the week, and we also at the same time had, I feel like, the Avalanche and Solana being like the most kind of significant pumps. Obviously Cardano is whole another level. I think this got up like 60%, which is insane, since this is not a like shitcoin. This is like billion daily volume at least, so it's pretty crazy how much this kind of went. But it's been mostly random. Like, I know that we used to usually trade coins that had some sort of like quote-unquote narratives around them, something kind of fundamental happening, instead of just people buying in. But I feel like that's really haven't been much to kind of talk about in that regard.
Can we look at Rune? I see it in your watch list, 5%.
I'd rather not to.
No, higher? No. Yeah.
No, this is okay. This is much quicker.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's still strong. It's like still kind of holding up.
Wow. Why are we looking at Rune? It has no fundamental. We are not positioned, but we were talking about longing this at like $1.
Yeah.
And trust
Around
me,
here,
we were
basically.
supposed to go in with size, and that would have been actually well.
Yeah, this is funny. I remember really how we talked about how this is going to be such a good long in like November and December towards the end of the year, and it wasn't bad. We just kind of didn't took it. Anyway, someone is asking about ordinals. Oof, this is like way outside of the things that I really
We can
do
look
or
at it. We can look at
understand.
it.
Yeah,
Look, can you do OKX chart
yeah, sure. Or maybe
or the crypto?
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I don't like. Obviously, I'm so also not qualified enough to speak about it. It's interesting how this existed for a long time.
Yeah.
Like we had bunch of on OKX, and
Yeah.
like nobody gave a fuck. Obviously, with Binance listing, that often changes. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it went really crazy. It's like the listing kind of happened early November, right? Like this was the listing, and then
Yeah.
it just kind of memed itself into the more upside, basically. Yeah, I don't know. It's super extended. I'm not sure how like market cap and everything of this is, but yeah, this looks.
Can you look at it,
crazy.
CoinMarketCap, just for us to?
Sure. Just
Yeah.
give me a second.
I'm gonna basically
Meanwhile,
give you all homeworks now.
Someone is asking about the weekly, monthly view. Well, I don't really trade on like intraday. The weekly especially is for intraday trading. Monthly also can be kind of clustered. For me, to be fair, like VWAPs and moving averages and all this stuff is just like for me not to be like too retarded and try to fade trends because like years ago I really
You okay? You okay there? Something happened with your mic.
to my microphone from all of this. Yeah, basically the VWAPs and all of these things, I think like indicators in general for me at least, is just like I used to have a tendency, few years ago basically just trying to fade trends too early. And these things kind of always help me then to kind of not being too stupid basically too soon. But I don't really care if like we are testing the VWAP exactly, or if we are exactly in the standard deviation bands, or if it's like 200 moving average or stuff like that. I just kind of look at it on higher time frames, look which way it's pointing, and that's kind of it. I don't really make that many like trading decisions based on that, if that makes sense. Anyway, ordinals have quite a lot at this point. 350 million. Yeah, it definitely feels like it's a little bit overextended at this point.
So basically, anything we will discuss today is overextended. And in Adam's defense, he's not wrong. But yeah. But like remember Axifinity in 2021.
Yeah.
That's my only kind of argument of, I do believe this is a bull run that should have a correction, yes. But like, when shit moves, we've seen that in crypto so many times, and that doesn't mean you should be buying. It's just like the most retarded thing you can do, like the most actual fucking retarded thing ever in your trading investing career is fading such aggressive trends on some small cap that has perps. And that Hasaka tweets once about ordinals and it does a 50% candle. So the actual like actionable advice with these coins, I think, is not shorting it in a bull run. I know I was shorting all of these and Adam too, but like market changed, right? I think that's kind of the like 8 weeks into aggressive uptrend is probably not a bear market anymore.
Yeah, I think especially like people obviously one of the most favorite things to do now is just like go to the weekly chart or hard time frame chart and just like do this basically. And people kind of say, oh, what uptrend, what bull market or whatever. But
It's
you need
people
to
who made zero money in last 8 weeks. Like.
But it's also you need to kind of understand. For example, this is like a cent. Like this still can go to fucking zero. Who cares? But it can go to zero like this basically. And this move, which would be in like a grand scheme of things, completely. Let's say it'll hit this 1.5 level for whatever reason. It's still 2x basically from where we are now. And you don't really want to be this type of person who just does this and be like, yeah, this is that, this is useless, and all of that. So
I think what helps is kind of understanding all of it is equally garbage, regardless of your personal feelings. Like it's all dog shit. So if in your head it's all dog shit, then you kind of like just trade the narrative or the chart type of thing, rather than being, but how many actual players? Like, tell me what DeFi protocol has actual users. It's Justin Sun and 2 other Asian whales moving money across wallets, and they're like, oh, TVL. Like,
yeah,
that's crypto for you.
Yeah, I've been looking at some of these things. Like Phantom did really well this week. It's been up quite a bit, and I was looking at like actual projects and stuff. Like no one really cares or use these protocols all that much, but it's just things are going up. So like,
number go up is the best marketing.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, what we kind of don't think, and I'm gonna show you. Like I posted on Twitter this week something that I found pretty useful. I feel like it's pretty useful, especially now since there are not really like I said, there are not really these narratives with like events and releases and stuff that we can use to trade. If you're gonna head to CoinGlass, you're gonna click the categories here. They are a little messed up. If you're gonna look at each coins, inside the categories, you just need to click on it basically, and you will see them. It's little wonky, You saw probably that I clicked on Optimism ecosystem, and there is a link here for some reason.
Well, it is.
Yeah,
they have,
yeah,
like,
I know, I know, but it's not like link price action would like directly affect Optimism. Basically, you in the like Optimism ecosystem, you would expect like whatever is traded on centralized exchanges or whatnot. But if you kind of sort these things by open interest, you can look at these once a day, twice a day. You will see changes. Obviously increase in the OI, meaning that positions are just kind of flowing in. I shared gaming. I don't know. Sometimes it started weak. You can also do volume. It's going to be very, very similar, basically. But yeah, you can see, gaming, metaverse, and you're just gonna take a look at the coins that are in. Like I said, some of them make sense, some of them not. But yeah, Sand was a very nice example of this. Something that I was kind of watching this week, basically. I of course traded Magic instead, which heavily underperformed.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like people should tune in to be like best counter indicators. So basically, the coins where we kind of not sure.
No, but I to be fair, I long Magic on 7th, and I was kind of deciding between Magic and Sand, and I just decided to take Magic, and this is the outcome. I don't know. I really did my best to kind of like look at these two and try to find if there is like anything better with one or the other. They just this felt much structurally better with much more kind of possible upside compared to this, and yeah, look what happened basically.
It's simply you're too early,
Yeah. So, probably it's like better if you are just bullish on a basket, just like take more longs. Someone already also mentioned this. Like the bit style, basically how he always used to post like 150 positions open, basically, and you can just spread around your risk a little bit in the same sector, kind of thing, rather than be me basically long here and see nothing happening while the kind of the second obvious choice did this. But it is what it is.
Yeah, somebody's saying they should make inverse 2 of us ETF, unironically.
But it's not like I'm losing money, you know. Like that's like the worst thing about it. Like if I would be just like taking trades and I would be just like losing money and getting shit, I would be like, yeah, like something is wrong. Something is just like, you know, not working out. I must be do something like completely wrong. But the problem is like I make money, but I always pick the worst the worst thing to trade. So it's like you make money, but it hurts at the same time type of situation. Yeah, but yeah, gaming and these things, like I said, I still feel like it's extremely stupid, and crypto gaming is kind of a huge meme. But if this is the thing that is, yeah, if this is the thing that is going up, then it's probably the good thing.
But you didn't hear GTA 6, bro, the most watched YouTube video ever, bro. So that means Sandbox Metaverse that is coming. No, we just sound like coping. Look, reality is, I would just like to, how to say it, like, say it again. I think I could say it on behalf of Adam as well. We don't really believe in any sort of fundamentals. So the sooner we kind of accept it, and it's a big difference between actually believing it yourself or knowing that others will believe that shit. You know, it's kind of, we're here to make money. So if half of crypto Twitter thinks this thing will cure cancer, I'm pretty sure we'll buy it too, right? But like, you know, make your money, take your money, goodbye. Maybe we will not hold it for 100x, that I can guarantee, especially us two. We'll take our 20% profits. But I wouldn't really judge it, meaning like one project is better than the other. There are definitely cursed projects that never move. I don't want to like shame projects, but you know, everybody watching probably knows at this point some of these. Like, no matter what, like, Adam, what are your most cursed coins?
I think the most cursed coins is Lido.
Why? I knew exactly what you're gonna say.
Yeah, I to be fair, like, I would just rather get fucking, like...
Fucking what? Uncle?
Yeah, rather, like, take 10 uncles at the same time rather than just trade this ever again. Every time I traded this, it is, like, such a painful experience. Yeah, I think Glider is trading extremely poorly. Other than that, I don't know. I think DYDX has its own little bit of kind of scam inside. And Solana has been extremely painful to trade throughout this whole kind of leg up, very similar to BTC, just like no pullbacks, fuck you, just go up basically.
It's interesting, right? When it's also interesting thing maybe for the people watching. I had this feeling 2 years ago, like when I was just kind of starting on CT, because there's big difference between actual trading and CT trading, right? Like people celebrating moves on like Solana. When I'm, you know, maybe some of them are still long, but it's usually one of those, you know, people who take profit at $45 max, maybe even lower, but they're still saying, "Woo, Solana 70," you know. It's reality is. Look, I'm sure there's somebody who's gonna watch this stream and be like, you know, you feel bad about yourself because you see all these people on Twitter just celebrating all the time, like, woo! Like, bro, if they were all such geniuses, they would not be posting rocket emojis for you on Twitter forever. Like, have some, how to say, like, critical judgment, I guess, because if everybody 7x their net worth on every single trade, like, why they're still here.
Yeah, a lot of people on Twitter generally just, like, when things go up a lot, they will just kind of post it for this, like, an engagement type of situation. If they want to be kind of extra spicy with it, they will just slap the long short kind of a tool from TradingView to kind of make it look they took the trade. But yeah, it's kind of a very common CD thing that people just post about things that are moving because, you know, they get engagement and, you know, it make them kind of look like they actually took it.
But same goes for us. Sorry, just to add, it's not like I'm shitting on everybody on CT. Assume the same with us. You either see us on Binance leaderboard if we both had low ego enough to do it, to be like, hey, Abetrade, or RunnerXBT, like kind of very be skeptical with CT because like everybody's grifter, everybody's LARP. And again, assume we are doing the same.
Someone is asking about Orca, which is this is like the Solana DEX, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. Let me look. Yeah, it's up a lot. No shit. These things, in my opinion, especially like stuff like Dexys, like Orca. I don't know what else is there on Solana where people actually the Jito is Dex, right? Whatever.
I don't know what it is. I think it's Lido
yeah.
on Solana.
Yeah, like these are just high beta Solana plays basically. So
isn't it also kind of like people expecting it to do well after Jito airdrop? I don't know if Orca has airdrop.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, a lot of these things are just very high beta Solana plays basically. I don't really trade on chain. I lately I've been really thinking about I will just start. Obviously, you'll never hear that from me publicly mentioning any trades that I took. But yeah, there's a lot of things you can do, and like obviously if you'd be buying it a couple days ago, you'd be pretty happy now. Not sure how to tell you on this. It's at all-time high basically. If I'm looking at the correct chart, which I'm probably looking at, it's whatever.
One thing to mention though, I think that's actually a very good point. Is look before FTX, right? All the basically DeFi that existed, or these shitcoins projects, they were all like Alameda style total scams.
Yeah.
So kind of now, I call it in my head like Solana DeFi 2.0, or like Solana ecosystem 2.0. And I think that's why we see so much success. And remember me last week mentioning the NFT collection, Mad Lads, and you laughed at me. It's up like a bazillion % in the meantime. So I can imagine, I can see basically the whole, not the whole because that sounds like buy anything, but I would not be surprised if in this current meta, I guess, you will see a lot of basically Solana native coins or NFT collections, whatever, do well. Probably more likely than Polkadot.
Yeah, like I think like like year after FTX, Solana got this kind of unfucked from Sam, especially now since it has been kind of performing really well. People, try kind of flowing in. It doesn't have that Alameda, shit print on it anymore. So yeah, I would definitely wouldn't be surprised for a lot of these kind of older Solana project, because I remember this from 2021. I think I even used it in 2021, so this has been around for a long time. This is the chart is showing only 2023, so I'm pretty sure this is like more history, or maybe they didn't have a coin back then, but yeah.
Also, if you go to TradingView and do something like Radium, I'm pretty sure it moves.
Yeah. It's on Binance. Yeah. It's very much the same thing, obviously. It's just really, this especially would be like, if I'm really going to zoom in on a weekly, you're going to take a look at when they started to move, which was 30th of October. Then I'm going to look at Solana when it started to move. Yeah, it's like the big move on Solana basically started here, 30th of October. It moved a little earlier than that, 2 weeks. But yeah, these are just really like high beta Solana plays type of situations, so it's going to be mirroring Sol quite a bit, but obviously this is up 400% compared to Solana, which is up still a lot, I think 250. So that's kind of a thing. Like, does it even make sense to be long Radium when Solana was performing so well? Kind of hard to justify that, at least for me.
What is interesting in a previous bull run, that when Solana, the whole I'll buy all Sol at $3 and fuck off or whatever, back then I remember clearly we were trading, like people were buying like the Solana ecosystem shitcoins, like basically asking what is the high beta Sol, and it was always Sol. And now it's interesting that even some of the like ecosystem projects are getting some love.
I was using Radium so much in 2021. It was like my most used DeFi protocol ever. I really spent like a long time just farming there in 2021. Good times.
Can you share your experience with Cardano DeFi?
Yeah, I recently tried to look if these things kind of still exist, and I couldn't really find that. The Sunday swap was the call to thing, which took my money and never kind of returned it. So yeah, that was a fun experience. Yeah. So Yeah, so Cardano DeFi was definitely an awesome experience. I think I spent like a 5K there, and it like didn't work at all. And all of a sudden, I was just trying to buy a bunch of stuff, and then I realized all the money is gone. I don't have the tokens anymore, and I cannot withdraw them as well. So I just, it was just like
So it's like Blast,
fun.
right?
No, at Cardano DeFi you could at least do things. You could like click buttons and stuff. They didn't do anything. They just took your money. But yeah, that was kind of fun experience. This is also such a long time ago. And also I'm a NFT trader now, so it's a completely different thing. Someone is asking about Atom. I have, like I can take a look at the chart. Yeah, you're kind of correct. On a weekly, we have this, which has been kind of capping the price. We are there for the third time, so the likelihood of this going to break is
Wait,
higher.
somebody's asking about Atom, not Aptos.
Oh, this is Aptos. Okay, so Aptos is looking pretty good on higher time frame.
The most professional stream ever.
No one asked, but Aptos looking pretty decent. Atom is also looking
Well,
quite
Aptos
well.
look better.
Yeah, Aptos look kind of better. But I think if Atom could, you can see this kind of a peak of the high volume node here at like 11.5 ish. If we would start break this again, there is pretty thin volumes on the right, so I think this can really quickly move towards the 17 to $18 on higher time frame at least, assuming that things don't want to just die. I think Atom is one of those more cursed coins. I never really traded it that much, but it doesn't look bad. Also, I don't think, once again, I wouldn't probably buy this, which has all of a sudden way increased likelihood of doing something like this, basically.
I would kind of disagree because we discussed the cursed coins.
Yeah,
I think everybody on CT can agree that just this chain is just like my problem with, like, how to put it, like I do quite a lot of DeFi on this thing, which is just, I mean, look, at least I didn't lose my money unlike you, but like I'm basically collecting airdrops at this point, and there has been some good, but that's it's just like when you actually do some DD on it, like a good red flag is when, like, people inside the team or whatever, like inside the whatever you want to call it, are fighting, like hardcore fighting. Like, remember Gala guys basically suing each other.
Yeah.
So like now there's this talk of a fork of Atom. It's like, fuck, what are you guys doing? Like how is something supposed to work when even like the people who might have been sharing offices together are suing each other and like fighting over shit? And it's just
bullish lawsuits. But didn't it got DYDX recently? Like, didn't DYDX moved into Cosmos? But
yeah,
it, like,
because
moved
the
into
tech is
like
good, because like think of it really. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm talking about fundamentals. I should end myself, but it's like a tech stack, right? Like you can utilize the tech, but you don't actually need the token. It's not like you use it as a gas fee or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not a dev, but it's like, so the tech is awesome. That's what I'm saying. Like, but why people? It's kind of this also PR move. Obviously, a negative one when you have like, imagine CZ and Richard Tank is his name, the new guy. Tank, whatever, and they're like, "No, shut up! You're a scammer!" Like, Jesus Christ! Like, how does it make the company look?
Yeah, makes sense. DYDX doesn't look too good. What are like from the chain perspective? I don't know. Like, it would really make sense to, like, if you are looking at like other layer ones to trade. Either I would look at the just open interest, on the perps. It can be a nice signal of people just buying, perps. Obviously, once again, you can go to layer one here. You can just check the OI on these things. Obviously, you will have just a bunch of noise and shit coins, but then you will see these like bigger layer ones. So at the end of the day, the best performing ones are going to be the ones that had the inflow. If you're gonna, for example, take a look at the Phantom, which I know did pretty well this week. which is going to be here. It had this kind of a very steady trend when it came to the OI as well. So it would get, it could increase by 42% basically. So, it would get picked up sooner or later by one of these screeners basically. This is, to be fair, like a lot of my trading evolves around this. I'm not really reading white papers all day of stuff. I'm just looking at, I have just like these screeners where they just pick up stuff because other people are already buying that, or you can go to like DeFi Llama and look at like volume changes on chain. Would be, I think Runner is going to agree here that it would be like a second good indicator of possible token going up.
But also maybe a bit of overthinking. When everybody talks about it, it's usually like in bear market that's like, oh, top signal. But now it's usually everything people discuss usually does like another 25x. So. But it's just not my style. I think same goes for you. We're the good old 2 mid-curve indicators or counter indicators. We're celebrating 10% move on ETH when everybody 20x their net worth, obviously, on every single trade. And we're too happy fellow.
Yeah, it's it's obviously it's good to kind of give us a little bit of shit because we missed a lot of things, but at the same time, you are not sizing into some of these. I wouldn't buy the same amount of fucking GTO compared to ETH, like the position size and everything type of situation.
You're not trading $200 position?
Yeah, like, but
Scammer.
It's not, but it's like about the conviction and all of that. I know that like, it's just it's not obviously it's nice to be able to catch many things, and obviously, especially when things go, this did what 6x, but at the same time, how much volume realistically, now there is 3 million liquidity, there is I cannot see the volume here, there's 2.7 million volume on 24 hours, and it's today when this is up 6x, and you can see how the volume here is basically 3 times of, if you would be buying anywhere in this area. So like, realistically, I don't know. Like I said, I don't really trade on-chain stuff, but like, what you can put like 1 ETH into these things. Like, if you buy $2,000 worth of position, is it too much, too little? I don't know. But yeah, just my point with kind of these things.
Look, when I get to 1 ETH portfolio, I will let you know.
Yeah, like. It's obviously like nice to try to catch everything, and especially when you see a lot of these things doing 5x 10x, especially on chain. But at the same time, if you have kind of some money to trade with, and it's much easier to buy, to be long like 100k worth of ETH, and knowing that it's like a small size compared to liquidity and everything, and you will still make a decent amount of money if things go, if it moves a few percent higher. I wanted to ask you about the ZK narrative, because I saw they were kind of teasing something, and you since you now work in DeFi, you definitely gonna know.
Well, I obviously can talk about shit, right? Like, what do you think?
But this is the chain. This is the chain that should be like having some sort of airdrop.
Oh, the Starknet thing?
Yeah, the Starknet.
Yeah,
I don't want the insider information on Wormhole. I saw just some tweet from Starknet, and I wanted to ask you on stream because I don't know anything about it, but you apparently not do so.
No, I truly have no clue. I'm pretty sure that neither of us will be eligible for the airdrop. So when they get listed on Binance or something, which is obvious, I assume it's gonna happen, or like major exchanges, we're gonna mid-curve it because we didn't get an airdrop, and then it's gonna 10x like all of these new coins.
What happened with Base? They just died. Like, even Frentech, I think, died quite a bit, but like no one is talking about this anymore. Well,
can you do DeFi Llama for this? Like, the user interface is just so much better. Can you go for chains? Okay. The second Nahar?
Yeah. Base is kind of on 14th place, which is interesting, considering it's from Coinbase and everything. I feel like nothing really interesting happened expect the friend tech.
It has some change now, right? Plus 10% or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to talk shit because I never used it. I know you did.
Yeah, I grifted my few points and then I just kind of gave up because no one was buying my keys and I was getting depressed. So, yeah.
One thing, maybe let's go back to more, because now we're obviously drifting towards some shit. But with Bitcoin, let me switch for the first time ever today to my shit.
Sure.
With Bitcoin, I guess we could possibly also, we're coming closer to 1 hour. But long story short, with ETF, friendly reminder to actually useful information. It's like 31 days until January 10th. ETF bros are expecting it to be January 8th to January 10th. That's, again, 3 guys on Twitter. Pretty much nobody really knows, right? Nobody knows. But if it was to happen before Christmas, then it has to be on December 22nd or before. Which is interesting because we're we're factually 10 working days away from that. So all things considered, obviously every week me and Adam come here to cry and cope about trading ETH and missing all the good trades. And just providing, I guess, entertainment, we're really, really coming close to the actual event. And even if it's in January, we'll have Christmas holidays, we will have the weekend of New York evening and the holidays around it. So it's realistically like 20 working days left. So basically, let me summarize it. We have around 20 working days. On any of them, it could happen. And yeah, I think it's kind of important to not lose track if you're longing or shorting, I guess, and be very, very understanding the timelines, because I think with every day the time to go more and more degen and more on the risk curve is becoming less worse risk reward, I guess. Would you agree?
I hope they're gonna just drop it on a Christmas Eve. I know they cannot, but it would be fun.
Imagine tomorrow rejection. A rejection candle. Obviously, people will come say we're coping, but if we get a rejection, it's gonna be such a nice candle that it's gonna be. It would look something like this, probably.
I remember what a kind of funny thing, if you remember in 2021, basically at the end of the year, basically over the Christmas in 2021, we had a huge rally. Basically the rally started in middle of December and just market went up only for 3 weeks, basically starting week from now and until that kind of 10th of January. And I remember I was coping so hard because obviously I wasn't even at home. I was visiting family and stuff, and I didn't really trade or whatever. It's like 2020 basically. No, it's December 2020 towards the January 2021. You are
sorry.
1 year later. So, and I was so pissed about it basically because I missed a bunch of things. I wasn't at the screens. I basically left my home for 2 weeks, and in hindsight, it kind of makes a lot of sense if you want to send some asset or whatever, and if you want to kind of create this kind of people, having fear of missing out and just buying, doing it in this kind of a thin period of time when most people are just not paying 100% of attention and stuff like that. It makes a lot of sense. In FX, I remember a lot of the moves when I used to trade it a little more actively, were happening, for example, right after market opened on Sunday night, basically Monday early morning, trending moves, because a lot of people were kind of starting a week slower, expecting get more time, more opportunity to just getting, and market just kind of send instead. So it's just one thing that I find interesting. It already happened, like I said, this is basically 3 years ago now, Jesus. But if we really have this kind of a bullish narrative, I wouldn't be super surprised if we would get some crazy move over the Christmas, for example.
Well, I hope not.
Yeah, it's just like my, like this is not like super actionable thing. I would just trade blindly off, but it's something that I remember happening, and it's something that like makes a lot of sense from this kind of perspective that like people with a lot of money, they really can kind of influence the markets because the liquidity is much lower than usual, like throughout the year basically.
Yeah, I guess it's also a bit of that, I'm not sure if you still have any normie friends, by normie meaning non-crypto, or even any friends, because like we're at our
I don't.
charts all day, so what friends? Like, but
Yeah.
no, like jokes aside, like, it's like one of those when people go home or, meet with their families, and if their son or uncle whatever was like a crypto investor, right, and then you're like, oh, we've seen the crypto is up, the classic, basically getting
Yeah.
your uncle, no pun intended, to buy the top and then be on top.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know. I to be fair, I don't really never really mention people that I'm into this extremely depressing virgin activity, so not many people ask me. I have few like close friends that know what I do, and they are a lot into like NFTs and on-chain shit. Which it's like people are always into that. I feel like they are more into that than into actual trading when it comes to crypto, at least. Like people always chasing these kind of 10x moves rather than go and trade, which kind of makes sense, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not shilling it to my family and friends, because it's just, at this point, I would rather say I'm an accountant or whatever. And it's like, it's funny because whenever I don't know, like I remember talking to people, it was like March, like when we went down a bit, basically, or look, let's put it this way. And whenever anybody asks for advice, it's usually not a good sign. And while you're like trying to give advice or like maybe help with the timing, they never act anyways. So it's like always this kind of, it gets to a point like, why should I even bother when they ask for advice but don't really act on it? And like, why should I feel responsible for other people's money? It's like, like even if
Yeah.
it's family, right? Like you tell somebody to buy Bitcoin here at 44K. Let's say in February, so let's say, because these people don't check, right, their portfolio daily, right? It's one of those, like we do, right? It's like your flat might be on fire and you're like, what, did I get triggered? Did I get filled overnight? But like these people don't give a shit. And then they maybe a few months later after Christmas, they will open their portfolios and they're down 15%. And it's still bullish as fuck, right? Structurally, it's like up a lot. Finally, some structure being built, and they're like, oh, what the shit advice? I'm down 15%. It's like,
Yeah, there's no point. I never really done that. I got some like offers to like manage other people, like close people to me, very close people to me, like money and stuff. I always said no to that. It just feels like there is a not it's like a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Likely to happen. Anyway, we are hour in. If you guys wanna maybe give it like a quick look at some charts, I know there's like not that much going on, unfortunately. But if you guys have some trades, whatever, we can quickly look at. If not, I need to. Now I said it, and then now I need to like wait like 30 seconds because there's the delay. So I just cannot say that. See you next week. I have no idea what the BeamX is.
BeamX? Let me try to open it. I don't want
to. I don't know if holidays are going to be volatile. They usually not.
What
they
the
shouldn't
fuck is
be.
this coin?
They shouldn't be. The answer to that is they shouldn't be. Oh, someone is asking about WorldCoin, and I actually wanted to talk about it today, and I got stuck on whole on-chain thing. There is a update to OpenAI next week, most likely, or I think soon. Not sure next week,
Is
but
it gonna
soon.
become racist now?
Let's hope for that. But yeah, WorldCoin is up 5% on a day. There is an update coming.
I'll switch to the screen 1 second.
Yeah, sure. It's whatever. You don't have to. I don't think that. I don't know. Like my opinion after the whole Sun Altman situation, which was basically this right here. It's getting a little washed, in my opinion. I'm not saying like the AI narrative is dying, although like AI coins are not really doing much lately. We had a little bit of move in Ocean. I think a little bit of move in Render, but nothing too crazy. I think I don't know. Like I don't think it's it's the same with all stuff. Like it gets like people get a little bored of it, and I don't think like update in OpenAI, which is like update 3.5, like yeah, cool. If it's not going to solve world hunger or do something super cool, I think market is not going to react on that too much. I spoke about this few weeks ago. I don't know if this was last stream or stream before that. Like everyone is buying this cleanest SR flip, which is likely to be super messy, and it's messy as hell. Also, WorldCoin has this gazillion dollar fully diluted value, and I believe that the market makers are still, yeah, they are gone a lot compared to what they used to be. But yeah, this is not looking bad. This is looking decent now. I was expecting them to be kind of populating this closer to the price again. Yeah, I don't know if we would get like a very clean impulse, like for a lot of things that I trade. Like I feel like I just don't want to sit in this for like 2 weeks and hope for the best. I'd rather just wait for like an impulsive move, and rather than like wait maybe a little bit of pullback or just start buying into that. But like when market, this is 12-hour chart, so this is 13 days of basically same price. I just don't want to be long here and hoping this is basically just going to send or die down. It's whatever from here, basically type of situation. So yeah.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here for today. It's bunch of small caps. Like, sorry guys, but I mean we've talked about on-chain, so we might as well. But
the next year the musical chairs are going to be fully on-chain.
On-chain and NFT.
Yes, on-chain and NFT. I'm going to tell you the next week how my Solana Tensor trade went.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. If you want to support the stream, please make sure
leave a like.
To use fuck likes. Use the ref link. Make a new account on Voo. If you're gonna open your first trade, you will get tier 1 fees for 30 days. You will get a bunch of like discounts and stuff on the tradingriot.com with it as well. And it's just in general, you're just gonna show that you are enjoying the streams. Anyway, see you next Sunday swap.
Auf Wiedersehen.
See you next week.